Swingers, and welcome. Today is Friday the 12th of January. We're back. We said we were back in sometime in January. Hope you had a good New Year's and Christmas, everybody. As usual, we're here with our regular, a big part of the team, Mr John Killick. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We're on location today, as we usually like to do. We're outside Royal North Shore Hospital in Sydney, and we've got a guest this morning who's had a rough trot, hasn't he, John?
He's had a really rough trot when he considered all he is an arm robbery. He's done the equivalent of probably 2 life sentences with people for murder.
What is it, about 38-ish years?
He's done at least 35, getting up towards 40.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? In prisons right across New South Wales, I imagine.
Mostly maximum.
Yeah. John knows a lot. You've been a personal friend of his for 40 years?
Yeah, I've known him for about 40 years.
Yeah, I don't know him well. John's actually the captain of the ship today. He's hosting on first mate. You're the anchor, John.
I'm the anchor.
You're the anchor, mate, and the little fella...
When the journey goes wrong, the captain gets the wine.
Yeah, well, that's... if we hit a reef, yeah, I'll take the rap. But I'll be in the background and throw a few questions in. We're going to go up shortly and visit him in his room. He may be able to come down.
The thing is with Pat, we probably should say that Pat came here, and he was lucky he came to Royal North Shore, which I think is one of the best hospitals in Australia.
It is a bloody good hospital.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I live in this area, because I'd love to go to Bush, to be honest with you.
Mate,
when it comes through here. But anyway,
saved me mum's life too.
Yeah, and it saved a lot of people's lives.
Yep.
The thing is, he came here for I believe it was something to do with his back.
Yep.
And they had a bit of an operation and had a setback, and his heart had a heart attack, mate. Yeah, a problem with the heart. And if he hadn't been here, I really think he probably would have died. And they said that. And then he was going back to Gosford, but he had a relapse, so they kept him here. And I seen him. He used to come down and in his wheelchair and walk down. And
this is the spot to keep him, mate, because if you're not well, this is the spot.
You've
got all the gear.
It's a great spot to be, but the thing is, when they keep you, they are really hard up for beds. And when they keep you, there's got to be a reason.
That's right.
This is a serious problem that he's got, because they won't let him go.
It is, mate, and we should. This is a bit of acknowledgement of his life too. We should talk about, because he's had an interesting life, Swingers.
Well, his wife's stuck with him for a long time, and she comes down and visits. She's quite a bit away. Probably a couple of hours long way. And,
she's pretty stoked. Yeah,
she comes down to see him, but she's got problems herself.
Shit.
Yeah, you know, as you get older, everybody's got problems.
Oh, bloody oath. Yeah, it's not easy, mate. Yeah, but no, look, that'll be great, Swingers. We're gonna head off in a sec and get up there. The wind's picking up now. Also, I wanted to say before we go up, and I forgot to say this on the Christmas special. There was a gentleman I was waiting on, and we can say it now. Ron Isherwood.
Yeah,
he's gonna be on. Yeah,
Ron Isherwood is very busy.
He is.
He runs his own podcast now.
Yeah. He's quite well known, and
Well, the truth about addiction, he knows that, and he helps people that have suffered from addiction. He was a bad addict. He'll tell you, a bad addict. And,
his dad was a gangster too, I believe.
He
and
was
a hard man.
Very heavy, very heavy. One of the heaviest guys on.
Yeah.
And virtually encourage Ron to be a criminal. Now, there's a great book.
Yep.
The book he's got. If anybody wants his book, go contact me on the RNSH to get that book. But the thing is, his story will absolutely rip you.
Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to it. And I forgot to mention that, Swingers. So I wanted to mention we were going to do a Zoom with him, John. I don't like Zooms. No. We've done one. I like it live, Swingers. So that's why he will be on. He's agreed to come on as soon as he comes to Sydney. So sometime in the future. And we've also got other guests lined up too, John. And we've got that a bit of an interesting one we're trying to cook up around March, April as well. So that's all we're saying there. So we'll see what happens there.
That could cause it.
Yeah, well, we've got to see if we can get a couple of people together there, but it could be a real interesting one. But we've got about 3 or 4 others on the pipeline as well. I would still like to speak to Ken Marsley as well.
Ken, look, great interview, great guy.
Very interesting guy. We went to his book launch.
Look,
Yep.
he's got a huge following.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a
He
huge
does.
following,
Yeah.
and you saw you at the book launch. And
Yep.
a lot of important people there.
Absolutely.
He does a lot of good work for.
I briefly met him. He's a nice man.
Yeah.
And
what he went through, not many of us could have withstood.
Oh, bloody
And
hell.
the fact that
Shocking story.
He used that as a basis to start his company.
He's a strong, healthy, fit bloke too. He's, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Well, he's got a few problems. Medical problems too, but he doesn't show it. He keeps positive.
Oh,
And,
mate. He was looking well.
Yeah. No, look.
But he will be on. I've told him he'd be on before. Everyone I say that will come on, it's just all time and coordinating.
Well, you're
things. So
getting Ray Mooney back too, aren't you?
Ray Mooney is definitely coming back for a part 2. Ray scored very well, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm hitting 4,000, I think,
Yeah.
up around there. And again, he's in Melbourne, so when he's in Sydney, I prefer to do it live. I don't like doing this Zoom shit, Swingers. So, yeah.
And you might have an ex-cop.
Very well, yeah. We'll talk about that too. That would be a good perspective to see on the Coppers side. Look, Swingers, we're going to head upstairs. We'll see you shortly. John's going to take the reins, and we're going to speak to this gentleman. So, see you soon, Swingers. Heading up there now. Okay. Bye.
Pat Goonan.
Mate,
This is your life.
are you okay?
Pat Goonan.
Good on you,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, mate, we've got to get you. We've got to get your story. A lot of people want to hear about it.
That's good.
And when we heard you're in hospital, I couldn't believe it. Not Pat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'd like you to tell us about it.
Yeah.
Good on you, Pat.
And,
John's taken the anchor today, mate. Welcome to Macca's Old School, mate. We appreciate your time. You're a good man.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Well,
No problem at all.
They saw the photo of you and I on Facebook,
Yeah.
and you looked pretty crook. You look pretty crook in there.
Yep.
And this is a great comeback. You still got good legs.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Just
all the
swollen
road.
at the moment, but
Bit
yeah.
swollen, yeah. But look, the thing is that you're an old bank robber, old school, and you got great support. I think we got nearly 400 people asking about you on the Facebook.
Wow.
So we'd like to put your story up there
Yep.
and tell as it is, because Pat's another victim. I think that he didn't have much chance as a young guy, and got on the wrong road and he got on the treadmill and found it very hard to get off, didn't you? Now, Pat, we'll let you run through your record shortly,
Yeah.
but just overall, how many years have you done in jail?
I've done 36 out of the last 41.
That's 36 out of 41. That's incredible. And you've never killed anybody. You never
Never
stabbed
harmed
anybody.
anybody.
You've never shot anybody.
No.
No.
Done
Okay.
nothing like that in my life.
Okay. So it's typical. The system. You've got to look at a guy like Abbott, who's done nearly 30 years. He's never done shot anybody, raped anybody, or the same thing. Bank robbers, escapees. They just don't like them. Now, what we'll do is just start at the start though, and then we'll get your record. But you came from a little bit of a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, a bit dysfunctional. Dad was working away all the time on construction work and that. He was an engineer, and he went away all the time. I didn't really know who this man was that come home once every while and took me out to Luna Parkwood and places like that, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know him as Dad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I didn't get to know him as Dad until I was later, older.
So you got mixed up with guys when you were about 14, didn't you? And,
I got mixed up with, actually a bit before that, got mixed up with a few people and that. I ended up, I got a 9-month bond for an attempted break-in when I was about 13.
right.
Jesus. Yeah.
And then I went to the boys' homes when I was 14.
Now, when you were 14, did you go to Durham, didn't you?
I went to Darrick, yeah.
And then you got abused at Durham? Well, like
Yeah, it
everybody's
was
been
abuse
there.
at Darrick. It was, with me, it was more physical abuse. I won't say there wasn't sexual abuse because there was, you know what I mean? But
It was mostly physical. But
it was mostly physical because I'd fight.
it was an institution that's been proven that just about anyone who went there was abused, weren't they? You know?
A lot of them were, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's,
Just shocking. That was shocking.
shocking,
So
and,
it's bloody shocking.
And obviously, the people that ran the government and the people who ran these places knew about it and covered up, and it's a really festering sore, in my opinion.
Festering sore that's costing them a lot of money because there's a lot of claims to come
There
out
are a lot
already.
of claims coming, And I think automatically with Durham that they just seen.
As soon as you say Derek, and you still got to go for all the proper channels. Like you got to show that you were there at the time. You got to show that it could have happened at the time.
All the bureaucratic crap.
But would you say
and they can't argue that now. You know what I mean?
No, they can't argue it because it's just been proven so many times, the same stories over and over again. But the thing is, would you say that when you got out of Durham, you had a chip on your shoulder?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
I had the world.
Yeah.
Well, they had me now.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
So
I was going to take the world on.
You went into jail at what age?
18.
And where'd you go?
Long way first up.
What was that for?
That was for armed robberies.
Right, that was for
You
armed
shitting
robbery.
yourself, Pat? It would have been a whole different...
When I hit jail, I looked at it and I thought about the stories I heard. You know what I mean? All the stories.
Which jail did you go to? Which one?
MRC at the Bay.
Right.
And I remember looking out the back of the police truck, and until then I'd never really been scared or bothered by anything. You know what I mean? Like it was just, and I'm looking and there's all these big blokes. They're all 6'6", shoulders as wide as a buffalo. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm thinking, and the stories are going around in my head. You know what I mean? I was horrified. I thought, oh, I'm going here. I'm going to get got.
They're all training in the yard.
Training in the yard, doing
pumping
things,
right
pumping right out, you know, and coming out the gym and all sorts of stuff, and I'm thinking, oh. But it wasn't quite as bad as I thought, you know what I mean? Like, I was prepared. I was a fighter, you know what I mean? I couldn't help it. I'm not going to give in.
You could knuckle,
It's not that I can knuckle, it's just I'll have a crack. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, they think they can fight, but they can't.
When was that, about 1981?
1980 I started, early late 80. I ended up to fight with a 2 for the armed robbery. And then I come back in 80. I escaped actually, in 82. I escaped from Bathurst Bexley.
So here's another armed robber escape. It's amazing that the history of armed robbers, the history of escape, and it's not only known in Australia, it's known in America. There's a lot of famous armed robbers, bank robbers that became...
and not easy to escape. There's a bit of planning there, isn't there?
Yeah, sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. You know,
the authorities are always suspicious of armed robbers.
Yep.
They think potential escapees. And, and it does work out that way. You don't see guys who are forging checks but jumping out the walls. But, it's just a thing that and you have a look at guys like Abbott, you know, and yourself and myself and many others, robbers that have Denning, Peter Walker, just so many people, you know, Russell Manson, there's just so many of them that were armed robbers become escapees. And America, you look at Dillinger and you look at all the people, and Billy Sutton, all these people that were armed robbers, you know. So there's a history there. And so you get treated in a certain way, don't you? Because I remember you and I...
You know not to expect anything from them.
Well, do you remember you and I in 85 when you and I were there?
Yeah.
And they put really heavy stuff on us, didn't they?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
When I was 40, I mean, like...
Yeah.
In the morning, strip search, as soon as we got there, separated from everyone.
Both of us,
And then the belts come out, and the shackles come out, I think.
Yeah.
The shackles come out?
Yeah, that's when I first met Pat, and we were in the same... they just didn't...
You've known, what, about 40 years, John? You too?
Well, yeah, we've known each other about 39 years,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But what I wanted to say is, you're in for bank robbery at that stage, right?
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us about your first bank? What's it like robbing a bank?
Well, actually, my first bank was before that one. It was back a couple of years before that. When I was excited, I was young. I was only 16.
16?
16.
Did you get caught for it?
No.
No, well, we won't talk about that. What about the second one?
The one I got caught for, mate, I was over the moon because I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I did enjoy it. I won't buy it. You get a certain feeling out of it.
Well, it's not just that. The fact is, you had a chip in your shoulder. You'd been all sorts of things happened to you. You had no recompensation for it, and you sort of felt in a way. And I went through it that the world owed you. It was the wrong attitude, but it's the attitude that we had.
More like you just want to take what you want. I'm going to take what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what it does to you.
Yeah.
That's what the system does to you.
You know what I mean? And Derek was what actually turned me before that,
Yeah.
I was pretty
Yeah.
normal kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or did you rob the bank on your own?
No, it's a co-accused there too, but he was driving the car.
Was that the one in Melbourne?
No, the one from Melbourne, that was, I had a co-accused for that. I won't go into names and stuff, yeah. We drove him down to Melbourne after it. Got pinched down in Melbourne at our motel because he didn't listen to me. And then there's a case of a statement got put in by someone. It wasn't by me. I did put a statement in, but there was no names in statements. There was no mention of robbery, you know, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do you reckon you did all up, Pat? Roughly.
What?
Banks.
Banks. I ran amok in 88. I did. I ran amok for a period in 88. Yeah. We would end up doing 4 to 5 banks a week.
Fucking hell. Yeah, right.
And it got really
You're
bad.
busy, mate.
And that was other work on top of it, you know what I mean? But we all had heroin habits, and the heroin habits were massive.
Yeah. It was huge in the 80s, smacking heroin problem up the cross and all over, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Cabramatta.
The jails, weren't they?
There's never anything
They were
for
just
it. They
all
put a
hitting
show
up,
on
weren't
and run a course here and there, but the courses, the people that run the courses have never done anything.
Yeah.
Heroin or any problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they're teaching from a textbook, they're not teaching from the heart.
Yeah.
Well, can you give us a rundown exactly your sentences? Because you've got a good memory.
Yeah.
Wasn't
The first one I got prescribed, but the two, I ended up doing just on 3 years with that because of the escape.
Where'd you do that?
The first up the Bay, then up to Cessnock, Oberon, Extreme Bathurst for I escape, and then Goulburn until I got out.
Right, the next one?
Next one was breach of parole. I spent all of that at Long Bay. The CIP and the MRP, it used to be called. I went into a special care unit and got parole from there again. I was only out 4 months after that.
So
That was the bank
Can I
from
just
Melbourne.
ask you, this is a special care unit for so people know. It's a unit where you wear your own clothes, right?
You wear your own clothes, you get treated in a different way. You've got to talk to officers
You're
and
on a
get to
first
know
name
both
basis
sides
with
and
prisoners,
stories, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
Now, usually they do a lot of good work. There's Sykes now, I went there myself. So that didn't do you any good because 3 months later you're back? It didn't do any good.
It opened up a lot of stuff as well.
But you're still in heroin at that stage, weren't you?
I just started heroin, yeah.
So
fully.
that would have...
I'd had my first shot before that, but
Yeah.
that was my first big habit.
So it wouldn't matter how reformed they made you if you're still in the heroin.
You're gone. You know you're gone.
Yeah.
You don't like to admit it. No one does, but in the back of your mind, as soon as you have your first shot again, you know what's coming.
You would have seen people OD?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's not present. Sometimes you've got to help them, you know what I mean? You can't leave. I can't leave them there personally.
No. Have you seen anyone die in front of you?
No, not from there. I've brought them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Bit mouth to mouth.
Well, what was the next sentence after that?
The next sentence after that was the one from Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
So,
That was 88, was it?
that was 85.
84.
That went till 88.
Yeah, went to 88. Yeah. Then you
and
got out pro parole and come back?
I got out I got out broke parole. I got out in July, I think it was, and I got come back. Melbourne Cup Day. You give me the tip that day. I didn't get the tab on.
I remember that, yeah.
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 The bank in the city. That was for a bank in the city in William Street.
Yeah, I remember that.
That one ended up costing me a big whack. It cost me an 11-year sentence.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I started with 13 with a 10, 13 years, 4 months, and 10 on the bottom. Later on, I got a chance to escape and took it at Cessnock. I couldn't help it.
So there's 2 escapes?
That was the second one, yeah. When I was recaptured 11 and a half months later. I actually stayed away from crime as much as I could.
That was the longest you're out for a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the longest I've been out.
Okay, now, we've gone up to there. So what was the next sentence that you actually did?
Well, I've done the 11 years there on that one.
So when did you get out? What year did you get out there?
I got out in 2000, March 2000, yeah.
Yeah,
Next year, I remember it. I was out in 9 months and got pinched again for another armed robbery. Stupid. You think I would have learnt by now.
Yeah, by this time, you'd have been pretty heavy in under their sights, wouldn't you? Didn't it occur to you maybe move interstate or something like that?
No, not really, because it wasn't so much I was under their sides. It was more, I seen a clear run up there. They didn't harass me, they didn't bother me, parole didn't bother me.
Where was that?
That was up Gosford when I was
So
on
they didn't
parole.
bother you up there, even though they knew your background, they didn't bother you?
No, they didn't harass me.
What parole
The only time they come and met me out in front of parole to give me a copy of the weapons prohibition order.
Right. Well, that's understandable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it. They didn't care. Yeah, I sat off it for a fair while too. Doesn't matter, but I
Right,
got
now
pinched for it,
this
you know what I
was
mean?
2000, right?
Yeah, this is 2000.
So were you still in the heroin at that stage?
Yeah, I was back in there.
So that's the problem, isn't it?
What?
And they don't do anything for you, do they, in a jail?
You gotta, some of the stuff they do, if you want to change, you can change it, you know what I mean? But in the long run, you got to be sick of it. You got to be at that point.
But they've got to separate
When you're
you from all
over.
the other guys are using, haven't they? I mean, the thing is, you might do a course, then they put you back in the yards.
You go back in the yards, you walk back.
They're
See
all on
a
drugs.
group of blokes shooting up and that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
I've
can't
got to
get
say
away
the
from it.
drugs are real accessible inside as well, aren't
Yeah.
they, Pat? Yeah.
Some of the best drugs I had in my life was
In
in
jail.
jail.
Yeah, right.
Now,
To be honest.
This is a big issue on drugs. It always comes up in interviews and everywhere you see, how do drugs get in the system? Now you've been in the system, you know better than anyone. How do drugs get into the system?
Visits, off officers,
So officers do
whatever
bring them
they
in,
can
right?
get, whatever they can line up to bring it in.
So officers bring them in.
These officers have
Nurses
brought
bring
them
'em
in.
in?
I've
Nurses.
heard nurses, but I haven't
Education people
personally.
bring them in.
Yeah, I know education people. Have anyone that works in the jail, if someone can get to them, they will.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money, isn't it?
Of course, it's big money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's,
So the
that's what
temptation's
causes
there for someone
problems
to bring
too.
them in. They only need to get one or two to bring it in, don't they? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
And anything. Heroin, pipe,
Whatever.
pills, whatever. Yeah.
The point I'm making here, because I think it's an issue that disgraces the families of prisoners, is that you keep hearing these idiots getting up on, and I've seen them do it on ABC, a program that I did, and these idiots got up and said it, and they said that up the backside, in other words, they bring it in up the backside. Now what I wanted to point out is that, and you would agree, that in medium and maximum, you're wearing these zoot suits, right?
Yeah.
They're padlocked there, they're padlocked at the back, and they check it round to see if there's any holes anywhere, don't they? And when you come in and out, so there's no way they could do it that way, is there?
it's very hard to do it
It's
that
very
way.
hard, but-
They're going
But we're
to
talking about
see
mobile
what you're
phones.
doing. They're going to see what you're doing.
Yeah, and mobile phones and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
so obviously somebody's got to be bringing them in.
Yeah.
Rather than, and that's the excuse. They're bringing them in on the visits. Then they harass the visits. The dogs jump all over. The lawyers come in. The dogs jump all over and sort of make her feel uncomfortable. But she never had drugs in her life. I wouldn't even think of doing that. So, you know, it's easy to say the visitors bring them in. But maybe there's a few, and I know there's a few that do it.
Yeah.
They might get a bit
Of course
smaller,
there is.
but most of it's coming in from other ways.
Other sources now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's too hard to get it in on visits.
Yeah. I think we should get that point out.
Yeah. I was there for 9 months in 2000. I was pretty proud of myself at the time because it's the longest I've been out legally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got back into the heroin a couple of months before, about 7 months out.
You were in Sydney most of the time, Pat?
Most of the time I was in Sydney, but I was
Yeah.
living up the Central Coast at that stage.
Yep.
It's a nice area up there.
Yeah.
I'm up there now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up doing the robbery. I come back in.
What year was that?
That was 2000. That was December 2000.
And you got a big one for that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 15 with 11 on the bottom.
So they were getting bigger all the time.
Of course they do. They don't muck around, you know what I mean? I sort of, but a lot of kids mightn't understand it, but I understand the fact that they've got to set punishments, they've got to do this and do that.
Yeah.
As much as I was dirty on the 15 years,
Yeah.
I asked for it. I'm not sure the prick that running around doing it. I asked for what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I'd like to bring out. I think, from what I know of you, that you're redemptive now, aren't you? You look back and I couldn't ever see you doing another armed robbery again, would you?
I couldn't do crime. I can't do crime again, John.
No. But
just, yeah.
do you accept, because I accepted, it took a long time working with science stuff, do you accept that armed robberies do to an extent deserve a big sentence because you're terrorising people? And we didn't see that, did we?
I never seen it from a victim side until I done BOTP properly.
That's it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's where I learned it.
Yeah, victim empathy and all that sort of stuff. They take you through it.
Yeah.
You got the chance to talk to victims if you want, you know what I mean?
We probably should explain, I think that I can't give much credit at all to Correct Service for a program, but that's one program I think it's a jewel in the crown.
It's the only rehabilitative course they've got.
It's a VO2P, it's called Violent Offenders Therapeutic Program.
And they get you to understand like the impact on the people in the bank or whatever,
the
staff and
you work one on one.
It is good.
You work one on one with psychs who are trained and believe in what they're doing.
Yeah.
You follow through when you get out, don't you? Go to the meetings and you listen to other people, and you do. And it took a while for them to get through to me. That listen, because I always thought it's me against the banks because they foreclosed on our house when I was a kid, and that's when my mother finished up suiciding. But you got to accept that when you step into those banks and you're wearing a mask and you're brandishing a weapon, that it's not you against the banks, is it? It's you against the people in the banks, and some of them do get traumatised. And they work on that, and I think that's really a great program. And
positive.
They don't all succeed because a lot of reasons, but they do get, considering the people they're dealing with, very serious offenders. They do get some pretty good results.
I had a judge, when I got the first big sentence, the judge turned around and said, I'm unrepentant, unrepentant recidivist with no thought for human life or safety.
Yeah, but that judge didn't stop to think, has anybody done anything to change you? Has he? He's just thrown you to the wolves all the time, man. They're living in an ivory tower, a lot of them judges, aren't they? He didn't stop and say, well, listen, some judges do it, some judges are good, and say, well, look, what can we do to help this guy to get him off this bit? But your judge obviously didn't. He just wanted to absolutely
punishment.
Yeah, and that's typical of a lot of judges.
Yeah, man. When I escaped that sentence, I got caught up Newcastle and had caught up Newcastle. I had that, well, I can't think of his name now. They used to call him the hanging judge up there. Alright, so long story short, I got conned into pleading guilty for a gun. Right? And the escape in front of him.
Legal aid lawyer, was it?
It was a legal aid grant. I had a local barrister. And he came and said to me and said, listen, I'll guarantee you 9 months to get in front of this other judge here, blah, blah, blah. And he said he'll take it, blah, blah, blah. I said, you can't guarantee that. No one can guarantee that.
No, of course.
Right? But, do you believe it? He said, yeah, I do. I believe the offer. And the next time, she's in court. I just said, alright, because she wanted me to plead guilty as well. She was worried about getting charged or something as a result of me not pleading guilty. You know what I mean? So I pleaded guilty. I switched judges. I ended up in front of this hanging judge. Yeah. That was the whole lot. He lined that up with the coppers and prosecutors.
They do.
In front of that judge.
They do duels.
Yeah. And originally, he hammered me for the escape in the gun.
Yeah.
You know, man, I ended up with something like 17 or 14
17 years.
Yeah,
You're talking about...
he gave me 6 years, 9 months or something like that on top of the
yeah, what you already had.
what I already had.
And he was talking about getting an extra 9 months. Yeah.
And that was parole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's only because the prosecutor said you've got to take totality of the sentence into account.
Yeah.
The
So your lawyer didn't do it, the
sentence.
bloody prosecutor did it.
Yeah.
Well, you would have had grounds for appeal, but how long did you doing that?
I've done 11 years on the sentence
Yeah.
there.
So
11
that's
years,
it.
3 months. That was
So it's
the
added up
last
to
big
what?
one.
36 years?
I'm up to about 30 there, and then I got pinched for the last one. That was special aggravated breaking out. If you're armed when you break in. And
Was that the club, was it?
that was a Brasse's restaurant, and I think it was a flip-out centre. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, the cleaners were there, so it become breaking out, become special aggravated break. I never actually had the firearm, someone else did, but because I was there with them,
Yeah.
it's automatically. Yeah.
Most times there's a fire.
The only time
Yeah.
in my history dealing with courts and judges and that, this judge did give me a chance.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Because there's an act that says you're supposed to start at 7-year non-parole period for this special aggravated charge. It's charged special aggravated. There is a part that the judge can change the sentence if he finds special grounds. I never asked for it, you know what I mean? I never asked for anything. I just got up. I got up in the box and I had the prosecutor at me. He couldn't do a thing. I got to tell my side of the story.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like drugs, the history and all the rest of it, how it's changed me. I've changed. I haven't used heroin for, I hadn't used heroin then for about 2 years at that stage.
So how long have you been out now?
I've been out 3 years now, mate.
That's the longest ever. Isn't it?
Longest ever. Completed parole for the first time in my life.
You got nothing hanging over you.
You're clear.
Nothing hanging at me. I'm
You're
clear.
good,
I'm
mate.
clean. They can't come back for any crimes with me. You know what I mean?
36 years is good. That'll be it.
That's it.
So you're not going to break any records.
Nah.
Yeah, I think 51's a record.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But he didn't want to get out either.
Hmm?
He didn't want to get out either, that bloke.
No, well, there's a few. Actually, Lawson did 49.5 out of 50.
Yeah.
Betty.
These are huge numbers, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like,
they
people
are.
don't realise these
Yeah,
are big numbers.
The guys who are going to beat all of them is Crump and Baker. They've been in since 73.
One of them died not long ago.
Did he? You sure?
Yeah.
You sure about it?
Sure about that.
Crib
Heart
died.
attack.
Crib died.
Cribby died, yeah.
But Crump and Baker, that was 73. That was the Virginia Moors thing. That was a horrific thing. And that's 51 years now, hasn't it? So they're going to break all the records. Yeah. I didn't know
But
you think one of them died?
Be honest and say yourself, do they deserve it?
I think it's so horrific what they did. There's. I'm a great believer, Pat, that you and I never kill anyone or rape anyone.
Yeah.
And there's some things I think that if you cross the line, my lad crossed the line.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. You cross the line. There's certain things if you cross that line, then I don't think you ever should get out. And there's some of the horrific things have done those little girls and stuff. You know what I mean? And I've seen them do
I
it.
can't comprehend it.
Yeah. So.
It's like, how do you comprehend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're showing a kid love,
I know
but
it's tough.
the kid's screaming, stop and
Yeah,
hurt.
But
they kill them too.
Yeah, it's horrific, isn't it?
Take the life and I don't even want to talk about it, but I've always had that attitude even since when I was a kid that I just think that, when I first went in, there's certain people that I think they should stay in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's really evil
people
shit,
won't
isn't
say
it?
that about me.
That's
People
fucking evil
probably
stuff.
say about us. They
They
probably
do.
say a couple
I
of
can
bank robbers,
imagine.
they're just, they terrorise people and all. But we're doing a few good things now too, and we can give it back. And I always look at it back that you can't take back what you've done, can you? But
No, you can't take it back. You can't change the past. The past is there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you can change the future.
You can change
You know what I mean?
yourself.
You're
Yeah,
doing good
yourself.
things down. You've got kids you're going to help. And,
I've got kids up there, I've got,
Yeah.
you've got young blokes up there,
Yeah.
and they come and have a talk to me. There's
Yeah.
a lot of homeless kids come up.
You can do a lot of good.
You know what I mean? Like they're all teenage onwards.
And don't
Yeah.
listen to guys like Pat. Don't listen to guys like that.
Yeah.
Because, particularly in that area that you're in.
Oh, it's putrid. It's a horrible area, I'll be honest, because of the way they carry on. There's a lot of meth there, a lot of methamphetamine.
Yeah. That bloody ice stuff too, that ice shit is
That's
terrible.
it. That's what
Fucking
meth is.
terrible.
That's horrible. That's,
I think it's worse than
it's
heroin.
worse than heroin.
Yeah,
It
is.
fries your brain, you go
Yeah.
nuts. I've known a few people that had problems with
Yeah.
that.
I've seen them in jail.
It's
It's
horrible.
scary. They're very
Shocking
strong
crap.
too. They go off
Yeah.
their brain. It takes only 4 or 5 to stop them.
Yeah.
They just get this super.
Oh, a huge amount of
Yeah,
strength,
yeah.
mate. Yeah. It's
And
shocking stuff.
and-
I was in Wee Wee for a while, and there's a
Yeah.
big drug problem around there too.
Yeah, Railway Street.
Oh, fuck.
But
Yeah.
you said
Up
that-
in the park and the
Up in
dunnies
the
and
park,
that.
Yeah, all
shocking.
of it.
But
Shocking.
you
Cleaned
get
it up a
all-
little bit, but it's young man.
Real young. Real
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
Teenagers and, yeah.
Oh, look, I went up Broken Hill and Dubbo around those places.
Oh,
and
they got problems.
Same.
walking the streets, kids, they're on it, they're the little
Yeah.
kids, and it's just, and you're seeing that you go in the shops, and you see them, she's grabbing things. I seen this guy, and I was with a girl, and I said, what's the hell are you doing? She sprayed himself all the stuff, and laid it on, and put it in his coat.
Yeah.
She said, oh, they'll just grab him and go and take it. I said, no, it's going to charge him. She said, there's that many, if they charge him, they'd have to shut down the shop to go and testify,
Yeah.
and the cops, and
Yeah.
the magistrates let them go, they don't know what to do. It's
But then you got the violence too, isn't it? They'll
Yeah.
go off at the shop,
Yeah.
beat the shit out of the shopkeeper or whatever.
Well, look,
Yeah.
it's a real problem, Ice, and you and I know, going back to the days of
People lose
heroin.
their morals and everything on it. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Like,
And heroin
it's
was,
amazing.
Sell your
just-
soul.
most
Yeah.
people go on the night with heroin, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
want to go on the night.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ice
I call it the
is
best
okay.
painkiller ever had. It was the best painkiller I've ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 No, it's a difference in drugs these days, mate. They're just fucking terrible.
Oh, it's
That
terrible.
ice stuff is just evil shit. You
You
know.
know what I mean? It's all right to rob, be a job of steal from each other. People helping you, you're stealing from them while they're helping you, things like that.
Yeah.
But that's all right to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, the ethics change, haven't they? Yeah.
ethics, morals and principles, and
Mm.
you know what I mean? They all tell tales.
But
I
it's
know
good
they
that
do.
it's good that guys like you and me and others that can get out, get over it. You know, Russell Manser and Ronnie Isherwood
Yeah.
and Jeff Morgan, all these people come out and tell, and there's people listening to us because they know that we've been there.
That's it.
But you've got to be sincere about that you're giving away. Because there's nothing worse than you get up and do these things and then all of a sudden you turn around and go back and do it because you just spoil it for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know you're sincere, I'm sincere, and I know the other guys are sort of being sincere too. They need people like us, and I mean it, they should give us the opportunity to talk to the kids. But they won't do it because they're too proud to do it.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
They can't accept that there might be another way.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
So they just
And it's
carry on.
turned into
Yeah.
a business now too.
Yeah, well,
The
it is
courts
business.
and all the
Yeah.
law and
Yeah.
everything else,
Oh,
the
it's huge.
system.
Yeah. Well, you only got to look. CSI Industries in jail.
Yeah.
It's a major business now.
I know.
Yeah.
I was a clerk at Cessnock in the Mountables
Yeah.
there. In 12 months, I think it's something like 20 million in jobs that went through
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's huge.
But, that,
It's big biggies.
but that's not to say they get 20 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so looking at Pat Goonan's life, I think it might people say,
I'm
oh,
sort of pretty proud of my life. You
yeah,
know what I
36
mean? Like, I'm
years.
not proud of the crimes, I'll be honest, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I hurt people, and must have scarred people, I'm sure it did, you know what I mean? I'm sure that there's been a lot of victims that think I'm the worst person in the world, you know what I mean? And they're entitled to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I never set out to harm people, I set out to just do robberies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a survivor though, Pat, and you've paid a heavy price.
Yeah,
and,
I paid
and
it.
your family's paid a heavy price. Your children have paid a heavy price. It's good that you'll be able to sit here and take the positive attitude that you're taking, and we're just glad to see that you recovered, or you're on the way to recovery from this. This is not your
Yeah, this was a shock. The whole medical thing was a shock.
You came in for back problem, didn't it?
Yeah, I came down from Central Coast and seen a specialist here, Dr. John Ball. He ended up doing the operation, but yeah, they had MRIs, all the rest of it. Brought him back down. The first time the MRI didn't turn out properly, so I had to go back and do another one. I'd done that. They admitted me straight away to do the operation because they could see clearly I had a bad problem.
Yeah.
Any time I could have become quadriplegic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have lost arms, legs, the whole lot if they hadn't have done the operation.
How long have you been here, Pat?
I've been in hospital for just over 2 months now.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
But the funny, there's a twist in the thing. I had a heart echo done. They do a heart echo to make sure your heart's all right before they put you on that setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They found some murmur or something in my heart, so they couldn't do the operation because they couldn't guarantee I'd come out of it. You know what I mean? Chances are I would die on the table. They don't want that.
Thank God they found it too.
Yeah, well, that was the start of it, and I've been telling them for 2 days I'm struggling to get breath. I'm struggling to breathe. It's hard to breathe. I'm struggling, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really hard. What's going on, sort of thing. And they're doing usual blood pressure, all the rest of it, and they're still coming up normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't want to know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Oh, I had the heart echo on the Friday. On the Saturday morning, I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. Like I had to use a wheelchair to get around. I was in the wheelchair. I don't remember it because I collapsed. You know what I mean? I collapsed in the wheelchair. They found me unconscious in the wheelchair. Couldn't respond. Nothing. I woke up in ICU. I had a heart failure. The heart doesn't pump fluids around the way it should.
Yeah.
It's about 65% average or something that pushes around between the kidneys and the liver and all that sort of stuff. And mine was real low.
They told Shelley they didn't think you'd survive the weekend, didn't they?
They told Shelley, when I hit ICU, they told Shelley he won't wake up. You know what I mean? They said 0.5%, 1% chance maybe, but he'll die. He'll die in here now.
Well, you proved them wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a day and a half later, I woke up. They only sedated me because I was going wild, apparently. I don't know, I was unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had to tie me up at one stage because I kept trying to knock their hands out where they were trying to put wires on me and do whatever they had to do.
Yep.
I don't know. I didn't know about it. You know what I mean? I'll get the stories later on.
Yeah, you're out. But,
Yeah, I'm
you
gone.
What's going on? Yeah.
You know what I mean? They think I'm dying and I'm just out of it.
You're having a bloody good sleep.
Yeah.
It's
And
incredible
when I come to and that, like, I was, wow, and I thought where I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. It was a shock, you know what I mean? Like, it was a shock to everyone. But if I hadn't have been in the hospital, I'll be honest, if I had not been in the position I was in,
Yep.
I'd be dead.
Yep, that's right.
I'm
Yeah.
a great believer in fate, and I really think it was fate that you were meant to support.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
And you said earlier, John, Royal North Shore, we were
We
the
went
best
to
hospital
the
in
best
Australia.
hospitals in
Yeah,
Australia. I don't care what anyone
They
says.
saved my mum too. She
Yeah.
got blood clots from the shots, and
Yeah.
she died, and they resuscitated her about 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad was in
They
here
said they
before he
couldn't
died.
resuscitate me if I went, you know what I mean? They said there's no point to it if he goes,
Yeah.
we can't.
Yeah. No, they're definitely, you know, thanks to the hospital, Royal North Shore, Sydney, they're a great hospital.
I had 3 broken ribs, and they put me in here for a night. And they found it, even though they haven't got, somehow they found it better to put me in because I was an older guy, and
Yeah.
they just said there's a bit of a risk here. You know.
Yeah, he was doing a podcast a few days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually flew down to Melbourne, but I had to get permission to go to Melbourne.
Yeah.
because people are saying, oh, you can just ignore a doctor, or you can't. If a doctor rings the airport up and says, we don't want this guy to travel, they're not going to let you on a plane.
No,
So people
Fair
don't
call.
realise now, it's all, you know,
Yeah.
you've got to get permission to do these things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think we'll wrap this up shortly. It's been, mate, Pat, we're really appreciative, mate.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
And John?
Well, I think it's a unique story, Pat's. You know?
It is. It is. And we've had a chip on the iceberg of an incredible life, mate.
How many
You
guys
know?
have done 36 years in jail?
Oh, fuck.
And they've never
It's a
killed
huge.
anybody or...
It's huge.
Yeah.
And this is what we're about. We want to hear people's stories, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're still going, mate, as well, you know? And fucking hell.
I just never give in. That's the only thing I can say. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
determined. You know what I mean? Like, the surgery I've had now. Before the surgery, like I said, I was in a wheelchair. 6-7 months. I couldn't understand why it deteriorated so much.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I had the compression in the neck and the spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pressing that against the spinal cord. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I knew it was something bad, but I didn't realise that. You know
Was
what I mean?
that an injury you had years ago?
I had
mate,
a
or
fall.
Was it from prison?
No.
Yeah.
That one wasn't from prison. I got a lower back problem from prison, cracked disc, but I had a fall. I actually landed on my head,
Yeah.
and when I done that, it done the compression.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I went from normal. I think I was about 70 something kilos. Over the 3-month period, I come down to 43 kilos.
Yeah, fuck.
I lost so much weight. I was all falling asleep all the time. Couldn't figure out why.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was the heart.
Heart. Yeah. I've heard that. You're just exhausted all the time. Yeah.
And I'm not conscious of the heart. You know, I'm thinking there's something, sleep problem or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. But I've got to be honest. Since the operation, I had put 2 10-inch rods in and 6 screws to hold them, to hold the 7 vertebrae in place.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but
Because back
I'm-
surgery is tricky.
I was
isn't
up on my feet the next day.
Yeah, fuck.
That
Fantastic.
amazed me myself. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
actually stood up on my feet and that.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then 2 weeks after, but because there was a lot of fluid coming out of it, I had cut me open again and find out why the fluid was coming out and clean it out and fix it up. They found there was a bit of an infection that was causing the wound to come undone and that.
Fucking hell.
So they put me back under, cleaned it all up, braided it or whatever they call it, and
Yeah.
put it back together. And that was 2 weeks ago now. I can get stitches out on Monday as far as I know, and they've got the special suction thing on me for the fluid. The fluid's slowing right down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to leave it on until Monday when they take the stitches out, and then that'll be it. There'll be just normal coverage on it, and I'll be running around, walking around still.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Nearly everything's come back that was damaged
But that's
from
terrific,
the pressure.
mate. Stoic stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, strong stock.
Yeah.
He said a minute ago too, John, Pat, you said you had that injury from the back.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you before we go, is there any major problem injuries you've had, like with Barney's, jail Barney's? You must have been in a few,
Yeah.
you know.
No, not really. I've
must
had a
have been
few
in some
things,
scraps
yeah,
there over the years.
Yeah, cracked ribs or whatever, and yeah, a few marks here and there, but I come out of things pretty well, really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was
You just-
lucky.
Yeah.
Well, that's not to say I wasn't beaten. I've had blokes beat me, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And vice
I'm not
versa,
bad.
I imagine. Yeah. What were you going to say? Sorry, John.
No, I think you could. If only you'd back that horse to go to the Melbourne Cup, you might never went back to jail. I gave him a winner once for the Melbourne Cup. He didn't.
Yeah.
I got pinched on the Melbourne Cup day too.
But listen,
Oh, you're kidding. Really?
Nah.
Yeah.
I've got.
We got a bit of an extra flogging because they couldn't get out of the races.
Yeah.
I've got to say that I think this is important to sum up.
Yeah.
I'd like to say this because I know there are people that are going to watch this, and there are a lot of people, and it's a natural thing they're going to say, look, you know, he got what he deserved. They're going to say he kept going back, he kept getting out, he kept going back, he wasn't outlawed, he kept going back. What the hell do you expect? He did 36 years, he deserved every day. That's what people are going to say.
Yep.
And you know, people like Pat has virtually admitted that he deserved a lot of what he got, and I deserved a lot of what I got. But what you've got to look at, and this is where our system doesn't get it, is the origins of when he first went in, how they treated him, what they did to him, put a chip on his shoulder, never did anything at all to try and get that chip back off the shoulder and help him. And this is what they're still doing. They're still doing it. The people are going into the system, and it's just getting thrown to the wolves. Boys are mixing with men.
Juvenile justice and young offenders program. It's just gladiator school for jail.
It is. It is.
Right. You know what I mean?
And now you've got gangs, haven't you? You've got gangs that are controlling drugs and stuff like that. And look, it's if I had a son, 18, and went into jail now, I'd be losing sleep every night. I'd be just absolutely traumatised because I just know that he's not going to get much help in there. So, you know, when people look at this and criticise Pat for his background, you've got to understand the origins of where he came from and what the system did to help him be the way he was. And
totally agree.
It's not. And the only thing I will give credit to the system, the VO2P did help you come back, and they've done that. There should be more programs like the VO2P because it doesn't always succeed, but it helps a lot and helps people.
That's like I said,
They should wake up.
That last sentence, I come back.
Yeah, if they help,
and
they'll get people off. Yeah.
I was lucky that Fiona Mason.
Yeah.
She is one of the best sites you'll ever come across. Best people.
Fiona, you're talking about?
Yeah, Fiona Mason.
You know Fiona was very
Mason?
sick.
Yeah.
Fiona had cancer.
Yeah, I know.
And she just recovered. I saw her at Christmas time.
I've been talking to her on the phone.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, I thought I'd get that across because there will be
absolutely, mate.
People will be critical of Pat's background.
You know, until you walked a mile in someone's shoes,
I don't argue with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you're probably right. I did deserve it. I done that crime. So
you took it on it. Both of you really have taken stuff on the chin.
Yeah, and own up to it. Like, in reality, what's the point in trying to live the lie?
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you can get a helicopter, you can get out.
Well, of course.
But you've got to get a Russian to do that.
Oh, man, Russian.
Russian, No, that's terrific.
The system has got to change somehow, but I can't say how.
No. Where were you when the helicopter came?
I was at Bathurst.
Right. Too far away.
Yeah.
You might have come if you'd have been on the
You've got to hitch the ride, mate, if you're
I got out from Bathurst, so I'm sort of pretty happy at the time.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, thanks very much, Pat. We really appreciate it, mate. You're a good man. John, as well, who's been the anchor, the captain of the ship today. So thank you very much.
Well, we know each other very well. Similar paths. He's 20 years younger than me, and he's pulled up a bit earlier than what I have, I think. But you've got to look at it this way, that we haven't done much wrong in this century, have we?
No. Yeah, no, you're both taking it on the chin. Stoic gentlemen, both you. And you know, people shouldn't be so quick to judge.
You know what it'd be good to do?
When you walk a mile in someone's shoes, then you can judge.
What about a couple of years from now, coming and seeing him up at Gosford? This is your life, and do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
See where he's at then.
Well, you're going pretty good, mate, for what you've been through. And like I said, we really appreciate your time, mate, because you've had a rough trot. Yeah. So,
Not a problem for me.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you want me to just say that was episode 36?
Yes.
We'll see you soon.
He's got a pretty good memory.
Yeah. Oh, he's terrific.
Yeah.
He's terrific. That'll just finish it. Yep. Okay, Swingers, that was episode 36. Thank you very much. It was great today with Pat and John. We're here at Royal North Shore Hospital in Sydney. Yep. And we really appreciate Pat's time, and it was a chip on the iceberg, really, with his stories, and that's absolutely amazing.
It would be great to see him again in a couple of years.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Absolutely, because like everyone, mate, it's a chip on the iceberg to what the stories a man has. And as I've said before, you know, don't judge until you've been in their shoes. And these gentlemen are stoic, and they've both taken it on the chin, and we really appreciate it. All right, Swingers, episode 36. We'll see you soon. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye. That's it.